So this being devlog 3 for my Roblox zombie survival game, honestly, it's been focusing more so on getting systems working this week. Not necessarily making the game look good yet, or even worrying about the map, or not necessarily worrying about the polish. It's pretty much just trying to get the actual mechanics in place so the game actually feels like something you can play. And I think that's been the main focus with this Roblox project so far, right? I think I'm only about, maybe like 10 hours into it. But in terms of like how we've been going, it hasn't been too bad. And I'm only dedicating 2 days a week to it, right? Like at the moment, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when I'm focusing on Primus, and Thursday, Friday is the Roblox game. So it's not like I'm necessarily working on this necessarily full time, but I'm pretty happy with what we've been able to do so far. It's still pretty early, it's still pretty rough, but the basic shape of the game is starting to come together. So the idea is still to make a solo savable zombie survival experience, something where the player can come back, keep progressing, survive more waves, upgrade things, unlock perks, improve their shelter, and slowly build up their account. So not just some sort of one-off sort of round where you survive for a bit, leave, and it's all session based. One of the things I wanted to work on was making the zombies more difficult over time, because obviously if the zombies stay the same every round, the game will get very boring. So the goal really has been make more zombies, make harder zombies, to make different types of zombies, and just generally making every round feel like it's becoming more dangerous. I've also been working on the shelter logic, where the idea that the zombies will primarily look to attack the shelter, which is in the middle of the map, but if you get close enough, they'll attack you as well. And I basically wanted to create that pressure where you're not necessarily just having to protect yourself, you're also trying to stop your base from being destroyed. If it's only about the player staying alive, like staying alive, then obviously you can just run around forever. But if you also have a shelter that takes damage, suddenly you have to think a bit more. Do you stay near the shelter? Do you go out for resources? Do you risk leaving it exposed, etc.? So I've been thinking about modifying that shelter logic, and that's sort of where we're at with now. I've also been getting the shop system working a bit more, where not only can you obviously get scrap from killing zombies, but you can actually now buy ammo for the gun you have. There's still a few other things which can still get working, but that's cool. And again, I'm doing all of this with the AI assistant. I give it a prompt, and it goes away and does various things. And I literally had probably about 11 prompts in my Trello board ready to give the AI assistant. So that was really good. Sometimes I had to give it extra prompts to clean up a few things because obviously it's not getting, a lot of the time it doesn't work first try, but it's pretty good for the time being. And yeah, for the time being, the shelter is something that can be damaged and that you can repair, and it's basically something more like a base. So that's going to be something moving forward. Now, moving forward, I would like, to have things such as being able to free build, right? Being able to build perhaps, defensive barricades, structures, maybe traps, things like that. I haven't obviously built that yet, but it's an idea sitting at the very bottom of my Trello board, and that's that. And, speaking of Trello, that has been a very big part of my workflow, whether this being the Roblox game or even Primus. It's very nice to be able to organize thoughts, or be able to differentiate ideas from actual prompts and things that I'm clear on that I want to do. And then it's simply a matter of making the prompt, pasting it into the Roblox AI assistant, and then, going from there, that being things around the zombie difficulties, shelter logic, shop systems, round rewards, prep station ideas, special zombies, future mechanics, and all of that sort. I've even actually looked at adding a crate system where when you kill the last zombie, it drops a crate and you can go and loot that, and that has various things in it. And I've got all of that working as well. So it's been really quite good. And again, a lot of it just comes down to the context, right? If I have a Trello card that says exactly what I want, how it should work, etc., then that helped the AI assistant so much more. And I think that's probably one of the biggest traps which I'm learning across the AI project, that AI is simply only as good as the context you give it. If you're clear, it can be incredibly useful, but if you're vague, it can still make things, but again, a lot of the time it's probably not going to end up how you want it. And so I'm trying to avoid that. Right. And another thing I've obviously been working on is the prep station, where pretty much the idea is that before the next round, before the next round starts, you can choose how you want that round to go. Maybe you choose something which can give you more scrap per zombie kill. Maybe you can choose something which recovers shelter health and makes it take less damage, or maybe you can use things that give you more supplies. Basically, different bonuses or I guess round modifiers that let you influence each round. I like this idea. It sort of just gives the player a bit more decision between rounds, where it can get them thinking more strategically in terms of if they need resources, if they need to protect the shelter, etc. And so, really, it's just been focusing on trying to get a clarity for the game where I want to take it. And I think especially with Roblox, where I think the experience need to feel quite immediate and rewarding. So I think being able to look at things like crates and all those things is quite good. Another thing I've been playing around with is the special zombie types. One of the coolest ones so far is the Screamer. The idea that every 10 seconds the Screamer will scream and nearby zombies will get a small speed boost and also spawn a few extra zombies. So when a Screamer appears, it's not just another enemy, it changes the situation, right? You probably want to look at dealing with it quickly because if you ignore it, it can make the waves far more dangerous. And the funny thing is that when I actually got the AI assistant to make this, I actually added a red flash effect whenever the screamer does its scream, which actually isn't bad. Although there's no audio for it yet, it does still work quite well. And that's the cool thing with the AI assistant. I'm finding that, it's able to pull in assets, visual effects, and sometimes even sound effects, from Roblox and just throw them straight into the game. Right. And I think it's just been quite useful from a just experience building, perspective, which can help. And sometimes, it doesn't always do what I want, but honestly speaking, I think it is pretty good for the most part. And, that's something I'm learning more and more, whether it's Roblox, Primus, or Scarred Steel, or any AI project, really, clarity is really just the most important part. Knowing exactly what you want to do and where you want to take it is really, really key. Knowing what the core gameplay loop, etc., is something which I'm finding is also really important. And so that's where we're at with the Roblox project. There's things such as map creation and all of that sort, which obviously likelihood is I'm probably going to have to do a lot of manual stuff with that, which I'm not really complaining about. I could get the AI to try and generate the map, maybe give it better prompts, but at the moment it's just getting things working. Obviously, by the videos, it's not looking incredible. It's obviously not, right? The gun model isn't even a gun, and the zombies obviously look very, very basic. But I think this is the thing which I'm finding that with the AI projects overall, just having things working first is really, really important. I'd rather had everything working and it all looked horrible, and then I could work on making everything look better than the other way around. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it. As for sort of what we're going to be working on moving forward, is probably just going to be getting more clarity, this weekend, and then looking at just basically getting more things working. Things such as maybe the free build system and such. Because in terms of the project scope, in terms of how long this project's going to take, maybe a couple months. I don't know. It's such a difficult thing to get a feel for, and with Roblox as well, it feels like it's less about having a finished product and more about having a game which is playable, releasing it, getting feedback, and continuing to reiterate it. And like I said before, this is likely going to be a project which I'll probably look to update every 2 to 3 weeks. But again, if this is something which people like and people enjoy, then that's obviously, a net positive as well. So we're going to see how things pan out, but that's pretty much the update for this week.